it says humbleness of mind, meekness, and long suffering, right? Now let's go into the word long suffering. Long suffering, it says bearing wrongs without retaliation, without retaliating, right? So that's another one we gotta have. We gotta be able to bear or to endure bad things that happen to us without trying to retaliate, without trying to take things into our own hands, because we know that the vengeance is of the Lord. Okay. Our job isn't to give out vengeance. Our job is to be good unto our people. Okay, the Lord, if He want to deal out vengeance, that's up to Him. But our job is to deal out forgiveness and mercy. Right? Be long suffering, be meek, humbleness of mind. It says, forbearing one another, Colossians 3:13. Forbearing one another and forgiving one another. So those are two more traits of the elect, right? You're going to forbear one another, right? And you're going to forgive one another. Let's go into that word forbear. So forbearance is to hold oneself back from, especially with an effort. Forbear mentioning the incident tried to forbear making rash judgment, right? So to forbear is to hold yourself back, okay? That's with the effort of forbear mentioning an incident tried to forbear making a rash judgment. It says to stop. So it says to restrain or abstain from, to restrain or abstain from. Okay. So again, hold yourself back. That's what it means to forbear. So it says we gotta hold ourselves back, right, from doing things of what? Obviously, things of the flesh that are not profitable. It says, forbearing one another and forgiving one another. So it says forbearing one another and forgiving one another. So we got to be willing to what? Forgive our people, right? This is Luke 6:14. It says, for if you forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you forgive not men their trespasses, neither will the heavenly Father forgive your trespasses. Right? So if somebody does something against us, they come against us, we got to be willing to forgive them. Okay? Forgiveness is not for the person who transgresses, right? Forgiveness is for the person who has to forgive the transgression. Because if you don't forgive, right, that's a spot and a blemish on your record, right? I'm gonna get into that in a second, right? But another thing is it says forgive as Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai have forgiven us. Again, that'd be a spot or a blemish on our record, because how can you expect the Heavenly Father to forgive you if you're not willing to forgive somebody here, right? So somebody who's in the flesh like you, who makes mistakes, who has to deal with Satan just like you can't forgive them, but you expect the Heavenly Father to forgive you when you make mistakes here in the flesh, right? But I kind of lost my train of thought a little bit what I was about to get, but I'm going to get this for that. This is Ecclesiastes 28 and verse 1. He that revengeth shall find vengeance from the Lord, and he will surely keep his sins in remembrance. So people who are about vengeance, right? They want to see the fall of people, especially their people, right? You looking for revenge. That's, you know what's going to happen to you, right? You're going to find revenge. But when you go to open that door, it's going to be Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai waiting for you, okay? And he's not going to give you, it's not going to be a good time, okay? When Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai opens that door, it's not going to be a good time. It says, forgive thy neighbor the hurt that he have done unto thee, so shall thy sins also be forgiven when thou prayest. So it says right here, we're going to forgive the things that our people have done unto us. Why? So when we ask for forgiveness, we can be forgiven. Okay, but if you don't forgive, you're not going to be forgiven. It says, one man beareth hatred against another, and does he seek pardon from the Lord? So this is rhetorical, right? So it says one man in the flesh beareth hatred against another man in the flesh. Is that same man who has hatred for his brother, he doesn't want to forgive him, is he going to go seek forgiveness or pardon from the Lord? That's crazy. That's crazy. Like imagine, right? Lord, please forgive me for my sins. I'm not perfect. I keep messing up, right? He's going to say to you, why would I do that for you when you couldn't even forgive my man over here, right? Who was in a bad spot just like you was. But that's where that trait of the elect come in. Humbleness of mind. You're not going to feel like you're better than anybody. You're going to feel like you're in the same boat as everybody else. You're going to feel like I need help, so I'm going to give help. I need forgiveness, so I'm going to give forgiveness. That's a meek mind state, okay? Another thing, we're supposed to be caring about the well-being of our people, okay? We're supposed to want to see our people succeed. It says, he showeth no mercy to a man which is like himself, and does he ask for forgiveness of his own sin? If he that is but flesh nourish hatred, who will entreat for pardon of his sins? So somebody who's in the flesh, y'all got that spirit of hate, you want to see your people fall for whatever reason, right? You're not going to be able to get forgiveness for your sins. If you want to see your people fall for something, you're going to have to fall for something. And the way this whole thing is set up, we all have sinned and fallen short. So what does that tell you? We all need forgiveness. None of us can point fingers, okay? It says, remember thy end, and let enmity cease. Remember corruption and death, and abide in the commandments. So we got to abide in the commandments. And what are the top commandments? One, love the Heavenly Father with all your heart and all your soul, right? And the second being, love your neighbor as yourself, which is all Israel. Now, the only way to follow the first commandment, love Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai, is to love your people. Because they tell you in 1 John, the 3rd chapter, if you don't love your people, you don't love the Father. Okay? So it is impossible to keep the first one without the second one, without keeping the second one. Okay? It says, remember the commandments and bear no malice to thy neighbor. Remember the covenant of the highest and wink at ignorance. So just like the Heavenly Father winks at ignorance, we got to be willing to wink at ignorance. Okay? And anybody who's not in the spirit of Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai, right? we gotta be, you gotta forgive it. Any Jake in general, we gotta forgive that come against us. Any Jake in general. This doesn't mean you turn into a walking mat, right? You try to set up parameters so that certain things won't happen again. Like if you bring a Jake to your house, he steals something, you can forgive him for that, right? But that doesn't mean you gotta invite him into your house anymore. Y'all can go hang out at the park. Y'all can go hang out at the library, the movies, whatever y'all want to do. You don't gotta invite him back into the crib no more if he's done that, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But you can't treat him different. You gotta actually be willing to forgive what he has done. Okay? You have to forgive. If you don't forgive, that's going to go against you on Judgment Day. Okay? It's going to be held against you. A lot of people are still thinking that forgiveness and mercy is for the person who's asking for it or need it. But that's not the case. Forgiveness and mercy is for the person who's giving it out, right? Because everything we do, everything, forgiveness, love, mercy, compassion, pitifulness, all this is like a bank account. Every time somebody asks us for it or need it, it's like paying our insurance, right? It's like paying our insurance. It's like when you go to a store, or it's like you go into okay, I ain't gonna use it that way, but yeah, it's like paying insurance. Every time you do it, it's like paying insurance. You don't always need it, but when you do need it, you have it there to cover you because you've been paying, right? Now, just like with like I said, with love, forgiveness, mercy, compassion, pitifulness, right? We give this out. It's like paying insurance. So we need compassion, forgiveness, or mercy from Yahweh Shem Yahshua. He's going to pull up your past and be like, you know what? You're approved. Okay? You're approved for the forgiveness. You're approved for that mercy. Why? Because you've been giving it out. So now when you need to go dip into it, you got something to cover you. But if you're not giving it out, you ask the Lord for forgiveness, mercy, or love, compassion. He's going to flip that book up and be like, well, you haven't been paying your bill. You haven't forgiven a single person, right? There's no compassion in here. There's no mercy. No, you're denied. I'm not giving that to you. So everything that we want, we got to give it back. Okay? Everything we want, we got to give it back. Okay? People need to get out the mind state of this person needs me to forgive him for him. No. You need to forgive that person for you. Okay? You carry these things around, it's going to be held against you. I guarantee you it's going to be held against you. Because why? The elect are going to put these things off. But go back over there to prove that. Colossians 3 and verse 12. Put on therefore as the elect of Yahweh Shem Yahshua and beloved. It says bowels of mercies, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, on long suffering, forbearing one another, and forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against any, even as the Mashiach forgave you, so also do ye. So it says Yahweh Shem Yahshua has forgiven, so you got to be willing to forgive. Okay? And this is who are going to do this. This is what the elect are going to do. The elect are going to do that. Okay? The elect are going to be willing to forgive.